What's going on, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with a 300 subscriber giveaway. In when we're filming this live, there are a lot of YouTube shows going on. So if you join us during the live stream, I certainly appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time. I am joined tonight by some esteemed guests. Mr. Flashpoint Comics, and also Mr. Comics 89.
Hello, guys.
How's it going?
Hey, guys. So why don't y'all take a moment to introduce yourself? I wonder if let me see. Can I make y'all big? Let's see, like that.
Hi, I'm Flashpoint Comics. You guys see me a lot in Jay Blitz's and Jig's channel. Looking to expand and hang out with other people in the community, get to know what they collect and their thoughts on comics. A huge DC fan, obviously you can tell by my name. Huge Flash fan, looking to meet more people. So super excited to be here tonight.
All right.
Mr. Comics 89 here. I just turned 31 on the 3rd. Got myself a nice upgrade birthday present. Superman 75, 9.8 CGC, signed by Dan Jurgens. Awesome book. This is like one of my earliest grails I was after, so happy to have that. Not much going on here except getting designing a new channel intro, so that'll be coming out here really soon. So yeah, and nothing else going on except wondering when I got upgraded to esteemed guest. You know, I guess I didn't get that memo. So
yeah, didn't get the memo. Well, are you getting Weapon X to do your intro for you?
Yes, I am. You know, he just had a second video clip for me to look at, and I had a few more suggestions, and then after that it should be be perfect. So yeah,
you know, when he done mine, he was like, well, what about this or what about that? I said, man, I don't know. I mean, that's why I ain't done it myself. Here's a couple of ideas, and he rolled with it. So we got a couple of people in the chat. Mike Rogers is joining us. Thank you, Mike Rogers. Got CFAT. Hello, good people. I guess he means you too. And so also, what's going on, Mass? Appreciate you stopping by. And so so, you know, we've got a lot of, as promised, we're going to have a lot of giveaways in tonight's video. So hopefully.
Oh, did we lose him?
Wow. Internet. So that's one of the ways that you're going to win is by participating in the chat. And so Phil Ailing, hello all. Thank you for joining us, Phil. And we're going to be talking about the 400 subscriber. Yeah, you know, you never are satisfied, right? Once you get to 300, you're already talking about 400. And so I do want to take a minute and throw up here a couple of books that are going to be available for our 400 subscriber giveaway. Kay Titus, hello. How are you doing? Chris, what's going on? Howdy. And so these are the going to do this right here. So these are the books, some of the books that are available for our 400 subscriber contest that we're doing. So if you go to my channel and you'll click the 400 subscriber video giveaway, all you have to do to enter to win is you have to be subscribed to the channel and comment in those down below that you want to or you want to win, and you'll be entered to win. And so so that's all you got to do. And you got to be 18 years or older to participate. And it doesn't matter whether you are across the pond, or as they say, or across the border. If you meet those other criteria, you will be able to. It's keeping me occupied, Darren. Yeah, you know, that's kind of like all of us. Everybody's checking out the comic book community, so it's kind of clogging up the bandwidth. But so also, this is one of the other comics that's going to be available for the giveaway. Spider-Woman #1. I don't know if I mentioned that the other one was the first appearance of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Something that Mr. Comics 89 can get behind, of course, is Amazing Spider-Man 347. Venom's little Hamlet action there. Or if Captain Marvel's your thing, you can get a 9.8 Mighty Captain Marvel number 3 and Venomized cover. So definitely want to go and do the aforementioned deal so that you can take advantage of that. Now, for the first giveaway for tonight, first giveaway for the night. Hopefully everybody's got their fast ready and clicking away, ready to click away the answer. But what is the first appearance of Batman? First appearance of Batman. First person that types it into the chat will win a prize. Person I see will win a prize. Andrew Kai, hello. Thank you for joining us. Kay Titus, Japan is on lockdown for the entire month. James Galagos says Detective 27. So ding, 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 ding. You are the winner, friend. So Mr. Comics 89, look at you trying to sneak in there. So Mr. James Galagos, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a free comic book day, Batman Who Laughs? Would you rather have a Harley Quinn #1, The Rebirth? Or would you rather have either issue number 3, issue number 4, issue number 2 of the aforementioned Batman? Let me know in the chat. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's right. That's right. That's right. So, yeah, James, let me know what's going on, Lost in Comics. How are you doing today? I was able to catch your interview earlier with the Comic Jabroni earlier today. So, good interview there. And so, James, if you want to think about that, but put that in the chat. Phil, if you love Batman, and tonight is a good night to be able to win you some Batman, because you see, I've got some more books down there, guys, and or gals. And we've got 12 people in the chat, it looks like, and I appreciate again everybody for stopping by. Flashpoint, real quickly. As James is Harley 1, still need that. Well, say no more, my friend. You do not need it anymore. You've got it. And so it is yours. That's Terry Dodson. I think that's a Midtown Comics exclusive cover there. And hopefully that's the one that you were looking for. James, if you IG and you are following me, if you're not, please do so. But if either way, if you would message me your address, and I will send this your way. Send this your way. So thank you. So Flashpoint, you are we're on a chat earlier talking about a big book. For those of who don't know, you are talking about a very big book for anybody, but especially somebody like yourself that is a Flash fan. And you are you've sold some books, you put some funds together, and you're looking to make a really, really huge purchase. Do you want to let everybody out there in YouTube land know what that big purchase is? Uh-oh. You on mute? Uh-oh, he went away. I guess he didn't want to tell what the purchase was. Matt, were you in the background for a reason? Did you put yourself in timeout?
I had to leave suddenly for a reason, but I thought I could add myself back in, but I made a mistake, and so I was like, I'm back here.
Well, I was like, well, maybe he'll add himself back in if he can take himself out. So Flashpoint, tell us what that big book is.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. So I am gonna go drive up to New York, and I'm gonna go pick up a Flash #1, hopefully here next week. I'm hoping everything goes well. But as a Southern Herd in the other chat, people are pretty negative about it, so kind of got me worried. So we'll see what happens, but that's hopefully what my purchase will be next week.
That's because Marvel where it's at.
No, that's because
Says the guy who has a Superman logo in his back, right?
We all have our one weakness. One weakness.
Well, the thing, I think what I took away from the chat, and hopefully this was everybody's intent. I think it was, and hopefully you took it this point that it wasn't that they're not dissing on you for getting the book. If anything, they're probably jelly, like I would be, if I was a Flash fan. But just urging you or to be safe about it, because there's some crazy folks out there, and so I think that was basically it, or that's what I took away from it.
Yep,
I mean yeah. Well, and so Mr. Comics 89, for those of you who do not know, he is a Spider-Man and Superman aficionado. He's been releasing YouTube content on his Spider-Man collection that he's going after. And so, Matt, you want to kind of share any big news that you've gotten as of late? Some big comics that you've added to your collection?
Well, I've added another sub 100 ASM book to my collection that's currently on its way here that I got with my eBay bucks. Another one of those birthday gifts kind of thing. I had $48 in eBay bucks, and so I got 3 books out of it. So it was all cool and all that. So, but only other big thing going on currently right now is I just finished on Monday my ASM collection run and all that. So that's that own little series there. So starting on Monday, I'm doing premiering a new show called My Collection, basically where I'll just do bits and pieces of my collection, whatever is another Monday show. So I'm starting with episode 1 on Monday, which will be Fantastic Four. I went ahead and decided to do the comics I had between 1 and 100 of Fantastic Four. So you can see 4 of them already in the background. So they'll be in the video. But it's just I had a lot of fun making these collection videos, and so I didn't want it to stop. And so I'm running starting another show for that. So on Monday. So.
Well, everybody, be sure to check out Mr. Comics 89's channel when you get a chance. And if you haven't already, be sure to sub him up and hit that notification bell. So when he drops some content, you'll be one of the first to know. Flashpoint, I must confess, I was trying to look up. I know I follow you on IG, but do you have any content on YouTube yet?
I've got one. So
okay. That's right. It's like an introduction video or something.
Yep. And then I plan on actually, I kind of plan on doing the same thing. I think I'm going to go through. I'm going to do on Monday or maybe this weekend. I'm going to record I've got a huge stack of CGC books books I plan on sending to CGC. So I'm going to start doing that Monday, and then plan on doing mystery boxes, I think, or like pickups, because I have a bunch from Hack and from Z Collects auctions that I get. I love your videos, by the way. I watch every video you release, and we're pretty similar when we pick up stuff on Hack, from Z Blitz and all, or J Blitz and all of them. So I think I'm going to kind of steal some of your guys' ideas, and do kind of stuff like that starting off. And then once I figure out the best way to store like my expensive books and stuff like that, because I want to do a huge collection video overall eventually.
Well, he and I were talking about earlier before we got on the show live tonight, and he's got quite the collection there. You want to tell everybody out there in YouTube land how many comics you believe you got?
I think I have around 50,000. 50, probably around there.
Nice.
Like I told him, I'm only keeping like 10% of them.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he might have SM, that you might could talk to him about. Huh?
Yeah. Currently got that stuff going on. Yeah. So I have a fraction of that. I think I have, let's see, according to my CLZ app, I have a total of 1,800 comics, give or take. So
Hey, that's definitely a lot. I mean, I've gotten 3,600 since I've been back in collecting since September. Of course, the biggest thing for those in the chat who do not know, the biggest thing that I have is Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, the entire set. So that's 1 through 544. It was quite the accomplishment. And so I was glad to get on that. As a matter of fact, a couple of the books are grading right now, and hopefully we'll come back safe. So for our next giveaway question, since I'm talking about X-Men, what issue of Uncanny X-Men was the first appearance of the Blob? The first appearance of the Blob. The person to type it in to the chat will win a prize.
You're making this too easy. I don't feel right trying to do it and win, so I'm not going to.
Well, I should say any of the panel guests cannot participate. Maybe that would be helpful because there's probably a lot of common knowledge right here in amongst these three heads here.
Yes, I have a guess.
Okay, so Ben Compton says number 3. That is correct, Ben Compton. It was indeed X-Men number 3 was the first appearance of the Blob. The Blob actually made his first appearance before the rest of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Cool.
Yeah. So Ben Compton, you the winner. Ding, 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 ding. So Ben Compton, if you would put into the chat what you like. If you like Batman, if you like Spider-Man, if you like indies, put it into the chat what you like, and then we'll go from there. And so, yeah, guys, I've got quite a few books to give out. Now, I did get a book in today. Now, this one is not for giveaway here tonight, but let me see here. This one's not for giveaway here tonight, but this is Harbinger, the pink edition, and it is signed a 9.6, and it's signed by Jim Shooter.
That's cool.
So, Ben Compton says he likes Batman. So, the thing about this book was that the early Valiant comics had coupons in them that you had to mail off in order to get this book. So other comics had to die in order for this comic.
It's a vicious cycle.
I'm telling you, man. And then, of course, it's signed by Jim Shooter, who headed up Valiant Comics and was the editor-in-chief at Marvel for a number of years. And so I was glad to get down to my collection. As you might can tell from my avatar, if you will, from YouTube, I am a big Valiant fan as well as X-Men fan. John's Comics with Kids. Man, what's going on tonight? We're not over here reading Harry Potter, but we are talking about a lot of comic-related stuff. Now, Ben Compton, getting back to you, you are the winner of the last trivia question. And so you said you like Batman. So tell me this, Ben. Would you like one of the Dark Knights, number 2? Number 4, or number 3. If you are a Batman fan, you might already have these.
I can read some Harry Potter. I have at least 3 different full sets, of books in my room here. So, I can read them. I said I could read some Harry Potter if you want. I have at least 3 or 4 different complete sets.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, Carmen, look. Just because you suck at trivia, we still welcome you with open arms here. Appreciate you stopping by. You don't have to be good at trivia. I think about all those people like on Jeopardy and shows like that. I'm like, I know that, but I'm not the person that's got the heat on them all right there in the moment, right? It's easy for the armchair quarterback to say, why didn't that guy throw the football? Why didn't that guy, why did he throw an interception? But you're not the guy that's facing down 300-pound men trying to cream you, okay? So Ben Compton says number 3. That's this one, Ben. Some Frank Miller goodness here. So Ben, this is going to be coming your way. If you're on IG, let me know and DM me, and it is going to be heading. Jeff Schultz, I'm great at trivia, except comics, which I love now and again. Look, you got to fall in love with comics, man. It's an obsession, okay? It's like Lay's potato chips. You can't just eat one. Not that you eat comic books. That'd be kind of weird. But, hey, you can't have just one, it seems. At least you can learn about comics, Titus says. And I appreciate him. Wow.
Dude, Kate Titus is a good dude. He's from Winking's channel, I think. That's where I've mainly seen him at. But Kate Titus, he's actually lost a lot of students from due to the coronavirus. So, my prayers out to you, my man. That sucks, and I hope all of your students' families are doing okay and everything else. So, but he's an awesome guy. I think he's a pop collector, if I remember correctly.
A pop collector. Hey, if you are Titus, a pop collector, put it in the chat because I have something to show you. So Ben asks, what is your IG, Southern? It is the same as my YouTube. It's Southern Comic Geek, and it's all one worded. And so you can check me out there. I have the same avatar as I do on YouTube. So yeah, check me out over there. So all right, guys. Flashpoint, you got anything that like a big book you just kind of want to throw up there? Like the other night, I forget what channel you were on, but you just pulled out this big book. It's like, no big deal. It's like, dude, you're throwing out this fire like it's nothing.
Let's see. So,
okay, hold on a second. I gotta make you big on this one. All right. So what we got here?
The Journey into Mystery 102. It is the 6.5. cream to off-white pages, and it's the thing that really is special. This is my third copy of this, and that is the UK version. So not a lot, I don't know. I mean, since you just came back, but back when you used to collect the foreign versions of comics, they're hard to get, and especially in a good grade over in the United States. And the cool thing about this book is it's the first appearance of Balder, Hela, and Sif. And not only that, Thor gains the full use of his hammer, so it's a pretty big book in the Thor universe. So that's I haven't really picked up a lot of my big books. I've been waiting for them to come. I've got I go to Chad RCG's auctions every Friday. It's ridiculous.
That's cool. And yeah,
well, yeah. So you talked about foreign comics. I just got this week done myself. Uncanny X-Men 101, which is a big book for an X-Men fan, regardless of whether it is foreign or not. But it's also signed by the man, Chris Claremont himself, which makes it another great book. 4.0, yeah, not so much, but check it out. It's a British edition.
That's pretty
cool. And it's made its way back over here. And that's my failed attempt at a good British accent. And but yeah, so talking about foreign, that Comic Tom has talked about that on his channel about foreign comics. And after I got through my Uncanny X-Men run, I kind of said, "Oh, what's next? Do I want to do more runs, or do I want to flesh out my collection, like get the newsstands if I only had the direct editions, or vice versa, or maybe the variant."
Yeah.
So I'm really not sold on it, but I saw that on IG and I negotiated a good price, I thought, and picked that up. So really, you high school teachers, for those of you who, well, probably nobody knows this, but when I was in college, that was what I was supposed to go to. One of the reasons why I'm such a history nerd, is because that was my major in college. I was supposed to be a history teacher. I found out that I was not going to make any money as a history teacher, considering that I now have kids. I have to do a lot of money. So, shout out to the teachers who don't do it for money, for sure. I did want to share this because Titus is a pop collector. I don't get a lot of pops, but I was on JB's pop-up shop, no pun intended. And then this one came up. The guy who did the X-Men, the animated series Wolverine voice, he signed this. It's got a certificate of authenticity of sorts that comes with it, kind of like comics do. And so I was happy to pick it up, and I picked it up for, I was at a con in January, and I about got him to do one of these for me. But for what I picked it up for, I mean, it would have cost me that much to get it done in person. So I was definitely happy to pick that up. Now, for those of you who are my age or older, especially, or maybe for those of you who are watching Disney Plus and don't have anything to do at home and have been checking out the X-Men cartoon, when I said X-Men, you should have heard that theme song go off in your head. Or if you've seen the first, don't watch if you're squeamish, if you're emotional, don't watch the first episode where Morph dies. Alert, right? But hey, it's been out for a long time. So Morph dies and Wolverine goes, Morph! So, but yeah, it's definitely fun. And if you haven't already figured it out, I do like to carry on a lot of foolishness because that especially in times like these, we need to take our mind off of all the craziness that's going around us and have ourselves a good time. If you can't have that, there's no sense in doing what we do, right?
Yeah.
So, hey guys, I'm rambling on. Let's give away some more comics. Mr. Comics 89, I'm going to put you on the spot, man. You're a Spider-Man aficionado, so give us a question about Spider-Man that might stump just a common person. Don't give us something easy like what's Spider-Man's first appearance. That's too easy, okay? Give us something that might stump the casual comic lover, but somebody that's might be in the chat that's joining us that's a Spider-Man guy.
Well, the only things I can think of off the top of my head are basic, are a little more general, I guess, and not quite so hard. But I would. So, any question then that I want?
Yeah, any question you want. I don't want to make it like so hard where it's like double jeopardy or something, but want to kind of put the thinking emoji on,
Right.
Augur Ramos, thanks for joining us, man. And Jeff Schultz said, check out X-Men anime. And so good tips there. Titus says Wolverine is his favorite character. So, man, I hit it out of the ballpark, man. I brought a pop and I brought your favorite character. So,
all right. So I got a question. All right.
All right.
In what Amazing Spider-Man?
Hold on.
In what Amazing Spider-Man issue did Kraven the Hunter die? We're not talking about the new stuff with the Hunted storyline, the recent stuff. I'm talking way back when.
Mm-hmm.
So what issue in Amazing Spider-Man did Kraven the Hunter die?
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Are you good?
Yeah, you can't hear him, Flashpoint?
I can't.
Oh, I'm
so Metarog says ASM 294. Is that correct?
Yeah. It was the last part of Kraven's last hunt, I believe.
So Metarog, for those of you who are out there, and if you don't know who Metarog is, go check him out, sub his channel up. But there's such a wealth of knowledge. It's a cup that runneth over. I mean, the guy is so full of comic book knowledge. And as soon as you said that, Matt, I thought about this book right here.
Nice.
A very iconic cover. It's not the one where Kraven dies, but there's a lot of love with this book right here for those of you who cannot see. It's got Bob McLeod's, Mike Zeck's, and J.M. DeMantis' signature here. It's newsstandy, and it's a Mark Jewelers variant. So, yeah, it's got a lot going on for it right now. Flashpoint must be having some issues with his internet. He keeps popping in and out. Let's get him back to the stream. Your internet popping in and out on you, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
StreamYard is doing weird stuff, man. I don't know why, but I was having problems in Jay Blitz's channel too, where it would just, I didn't know if it's StreamYard or my internet, because my internet shows them good. So
Metarog was the winner. Do you, my shipping costs will certainly not be all that much because Metarog, as a fellow Mississippian, doesn't live that far from me. And let's see, all right, Matt, get back up there so everybody can see.
But yeah,
Matt had to show the book. Everybody wants to show Spidey books.
Yeah, so signed by Mike Zeck and on what was it? 8/24/2019. You know, TBCS 9.0. But yeah,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
nice.
Definitely a goodie right there. Love some Mike Zek covers. So Metarog, a collection like yours, it's hard for me to say what do you want because you pretty much have everything you want. You know, my stuff is probably way down here on your level, Roger. So you know, but with that said, you know, would you rather have Batman, indie books, Young Avengers, Ultimate Spider-Man? Because if you're like indie books, I don't know if you do or not, but I bet you I've got some that you don't have. So there you go. Let us know in the chat, and we'll send those out. And so Flashpoint is going for the big book. Now, did you tell me that you had all of the Flash series? So how many? For me, the only DC that I've ever really collected was Batman. Okay, so for me, the only thing I remember about Flash was when he died in Crisis, and
Yep.
then also the '90s era TV show, right?
Yep.
So for somebody like me who's a total weirdo on stuff like that, tell me how many series is Flash has had.
So it depends on what you consider a series. So there's the first series that you consider the Golden Age, up until I see. I can't give you all the dates because I'm bad with the dates. 80, 81, and then you have the second series. I'd say about five, just about as many as any like Batman and anybody else, really.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think because you have second series with the death of the Reverse Flash. You have the third series where they introduce Zoom. You have Rebirth, and then so I think 4 or 5.
Okay, and so you have all of those.
Yep.
Yeah, because the death of Barry Allen a month, or the Barry is basically the end of the first one. Yeah, because I have the last issue of the first volume of Flash because he dies a month later in Crisis.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
So Roger says he's more old school, which we all know, and you know, like I said, with a collection like his, it's hard to get up with that. So Roger, what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand your knowledge. Okay. So, and probably for the majority of the people in this chat, they never even read this series. And so I'm going to show your winnings right here. Okay. So most people know Jim Kruger from writing Marvels. Okay. So him and Alex Ross collaborated together. He was the writer. Ross was the drawer of the Marvels series. Very good series. The new Marvel series that I think on issue 2 now is the covers are still drawn by Ross, but the inside art is done by Welby, I think is how you pronounce it. So there is a indie series called The No Ones that both Alex Kruger and Welby drew and signed. And it is a let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-issue miniseries. 6-issue miniseries. It's a 6-issue miniseries, and it's a pretty cool story about some superheroes that are doing it for money. They end up killing somebody, and then nobody can remember who they are, hence the name No Ones. So you can't really see it all that well. I don't know why they love to sign in black, but Alex Kruger, I got him to sign these for me in January of this year. So Roger, these are all autographed, and they're going to come to you, and it'll be a good read. It's not going to be up there on the level of your stuff, but Jim Kruger does good work. I'm sure you've read his stuff in Marvels. Is the one that comes to my mind. And if you like this stuff there, you'll like his stuff here. A little take on the superhero stuff. And so send me your address, and I'm going to send it up there to you. And it won't take that long to get there to you because you're only like 3 hours away. Jeff Schultz says, like I said, I am new to the community. And again, in pressing thing, do I need them to CGC's company for pressing and cleaning before grading? Do you submit 15 then to get graded? Hey, look, everybody's got their own opinions on this. But if you want to get your books back in a year's time, have your books pressed or graded, pressed or cleaned before they go to CGC and before you get them signed. So if you want the vaulted yellow label, it has to be ready to go to CGC at the time that it's signed. So if you want that yellow label, you're going to have it pressed and clean and ready. Provided we ever get back to the time where we can have Comic Cons, you'll definitely want to be ready for that. There are a lot of good pressers out there. Well, yeah, he asked, are you for real a year? Well, I am kind of, that was a kind of a tongue-in-cheek deal, but I will say that I submitted a book in November of last year, and it is just now getting ready to be graded. It just got pressed. And so Matt's saying 8 months.
I submitted one book once. I had submitted 2 books, had them pressed, and it was like 7 or 8 months later because they'll get the book, and then they have to send it off to their pressing company or whatever. It's not even in-house. They have to send it off to them. Then they have to get the book back. Then they have to go through the whole process. So yeah, it literally took over half a year. So you're better off getting it pressed beforehand, but then sending it off, and that way it's at least if you knocks 2 months or 3 months off your.
And especially if it's a book that it might not stay in your PC, take it from a guy who, when I got back into collecting last year, pressing was not a deal back in the day. Neither was grading comics. And so pressing can make a huge difference in your grade. And so if it's a chance that you might not hold on to it, pressing is almost always advisable.
That's a good one.
I got this at a 7.5, got it pressed and cleaned, and then it turned out to be a 9.8. So
nice.
It's really worth it. I mean, it's just one of those things that I use impressive comic books. I don't know, I'm new to the YouTube community of things. I've just been like a lone collector of comic books. So, joining here, like I know a lot of people like Geek Aficionado was a good person that been mentioned multiple times, but I use impressive comic books. Gary down there is one of the most amazing people that I've ever used before. So looking for good prices too.
Yeah, Erod 212, he does pressing. There's a couple of other people in there. Some people do their own pressing. To answer your earlier question, I personally don't, because if I messed up one of my comics, there's nobody that I would be harder on than myself, and I'd be, and so that's me personally. I would save a lot of money doing it myself, but.
I want to get a presser. I want to try and learn just because, so who knows?
Yeah, so Jeff is commenting again. Okay, wow, like I said, I'm a newbie to this stuff. Never heard of pressing yeah, exactly. I'm the same way, Jeff. When I was in comics before, there was no such thing. When I was in comics before, there was no such thing as 7.0s or 7.5s. You had fine, very fine, fine plus. And so when I got back in, everybody had done it on a number system, which is not to say that's bad. It's just a new norm. Collecting in late 80s, early 90s. Jeff, that's me too, man. I was right there with you. I went through the whole Image and I showed earlier, I still love me some Valiant. And Image, I think somebody was talking in a chat I was in earlier today. As much as people dog Image for having so many copies of everything, man, you can't beat the art. I mean, they had top tier talent drawing that stuff. Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson. I mean, all the heavy hitters were at Image at that time. Yeah, Jeff says he's 45. I'll turn 42 this year. So yeah, some of us are in the same boat. Got some young guys on the other side of the panel there.
Old guy, middle guy, young guy.
I'm 25.
So you got it right. But hey, look, it's really great because they talk about young guys not getting into the hobby, and so when you see younger guys getting into the hobby, I think it's always a good thing.
Yeah.
John's Comics with Kids says 42 here already, 43 soon enough. Well, John, although you are only slightly older than me, I can say that you have a lot more hair than me, and you can also grow a lot better mustache than me. So,
Yeah, the 70s cop mustache.
well, I was actually going to call it the porn stash, but hey, that's better.
I was going to say that at first, but I didn't know if you wanted that on your channel. So
yeah, I wasn't going to mute you out. We don't cuss on this channel, but far. So Metarock says 42. Bye, youngsters. We're still wet behind the ears, aren't we, Roger? But anyway, hey, Flashpoint. Somebody was asking for you to drop the link to your channel in the comments. I don't know how to do that. I don't know if you can.
I don't know how to do that either. So I'm just doing it on YouTube.
Perry keeps the stash. Yeah. So John says Perry. Wrong thing. Let's see. Perry keeps the stash alive. Perry keeps a lot of things alive. Some of them need to die, but Perry keeps a lot of stuff alive. Yeah, it's definitely fun stuff. Well, all right. So I gave Mr. Comics 89 a chance to bring us some ASM trivia. So now's Flashpoint's chance to bring us some, you guessed it, some Flash trivia. So to put you on the spot, here you go. Give us some Flash. You might want to stick with you don't have to do modern, but maybe like a Bronze Age or something, that people in the chat, except of course, Metarog, he's going to know all that stuff, but that other people might get.
That's I see. You got to throw me under the bus here. That's a hard one because I'm trying to think what would be something that a lot of because I've noticed in this community, the YouTube community, a lot of people you guys are all into Marvel for the most part. So I'm trying to think here. I've only met one other person. Let's do. I guess this is pretty easy. So what is Reverse Flash's true identity? I guess, or his real name.
His real name, Reverse Flash. Real name. First person to type it out correctly in the chat.
Spelling counts.
If you're close. Yeah, if you're close.
And if not, Professor Zoom, because they are different. So
there's a hint. There's a hint, people. Everybody's getting their Google out right now. So Jay Blitz. What's going on, Jay Blitz?
First name, Augu. What's first and last name?
All right, so Augu typed out, but then Andrew typed out that. Which one's right?
So Augu was technically I knew what he meant. So because they were both right. So
we did say full name or first name, I think.
We didn't state full name, so we just said the name.
So he spelt it wrong, but I knew what he meant. So if we're gonna give it to it, Augu got it, but who was the other? Andrew actually got the full name right. If we're gonna be and spelt it right, but Augu did get it. So
Andrew, tell me where you are out of. I've never seen you in any of the chats before, so pardon my ignorance, but tell us where you're out of in the chat below. Jay Blitz, what's going on, man? Appreciate you jumping over here. Know you were on your own show not that long ago. The reason why I have bags under my eyes is because Jay Blitz and Z and Hack and Big O and all those guys keep bringing the heat every other night, and I keep staying up late. And you know what? They're the other reason why I'm broke, because I keep buying boxes from them.
That's what it says.
So
I don't care what's on at night. If I'm tired, I go to bed.
Well, see, but the thing is, what happens is, Matt, okay, I buy something from Hack. Okay, so he has a couple Batman books. I'll buy them, and so then I got 2 or 3 books. Well, I'm sitting there going, man, I want my Batman books, but I don't want to pay for shipping for like $3. So I wait till he comes back around and go, okay, I'm going to get one book there. Okay, so now I got 4. But then you got to wait till he comes back around again. So the next thing, it's a vicious cycle.
So Andrew did win. I went too fast and I didn't see it. So Andrew did win, actually. So he was the first. He got it right.
Yeah, because I'm looking over here my Facebook thing and going, he was first on my thing. So
Andrew says he lives in Australia, down under, mate.
oh wow.
That was my failed attempt at an Australian accent. So tell us, Andrew, are you more of a Marvel guy or a DC guy? Hey, we got to sway the panel here, man. It would be interesting because I think that if we did a study, we would see why some people tend to go Marvel versus DC. I think it's an age thing. So Flashpoint, so I know you're younger than me, of course, but are you a Flash fan because your grandfather was a Flash fan?
I'm a Flash fan. Well, not only that, but I just enjoy. So I can tell you exactly why people are Marvel fans.
Okay.
So you know what? I will give it that Marvel had way better writing, like in the gold. So people flame me all the time. I think the Flash was some of the best Golden Age writing that's out there. Like but people tell me I'm wrong. I think Golden Age Flash is some of the best like comic books out there. And then when you get into the Silver Age and Bronze and Copper Age of books, Marvel really took off with like the Amazing Spider-Man, like in all of these books. They were like with Stan Lee is a god. I'm willing to admit it. I may be a DC fan, but Stan Lee is just great. So Stan Lee was just having hit after hit after hit after hit, and really all you had from DC was realistically you had Batman, Flash, and then Superman. I mean, that's just my opinion. Those were the 3, but Marvel had so many better reads and there was so much better writing going on.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think in the modern era, like DC, the writing for DC is just way, way better now.
Well, when I got into collecting in the very beginning here, I was a DC person. I thought the Justice League was far better than the Avengers. I mean, I still do in that regard. But I got Superman and Action Comics. That was my collection thing. And then I thought, that's a cool Spider-Man comic book. I want to look at the cover, and I don't know, between the book and then just watching Reggie Collects channel and all that and seeing all this Spider-Man stuff that's going, that is cool. And I got swayed, and so I became as strong as I was towards DC. I did a about face and marched in the other direction to Marvel. So.
But, that's interesting because me personally, the reason why I'm more of a Marvel guy is because to Flashpoint's point, no pun intended, to his point earlier was that when I was growing up into comics, Marvel had the better writers. And DC was so convoluted when you think about Crisis on Infinite Earths and how they did there to try to make it make sense again. So during that time, Marvel had the better continuity, and that's in large part due to Jim Shooter. So the first comic book I ever picked up was a Spider-Man comic book, an ASM. And it was not till Batman 1989 when Michael Keaton played Batman that I picked up my first Batman comic book off of the newsstand. And so because of that era, that was also the era that Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee and everything were drawing, all these big important comic books. And so I got into X-Men when X-Men 1 came out. So that's how I got to be an X-Men fan. Anyway, so Hack 79 asked the question, did I win a giveaway? Unfortunately, Hack, no. We did give away a Detective Comics 27 earlier.
No, I have a giveaway for him. You won my Discover bill. Here you go. Please pay it fast.
So Jeff Schultz asked a question. Said, "Who's the Flash and what's DC?"
Dude, that question I could take hours explaining.
Somebody has jokes. Jeff says, I truly feel the CW is for kiddos nowadays, hence the DC following. Yeah, maybe so. I just think that DC as a whole had these characters that were not relatable to people, and Marvel had relatable characters. So like Superman, the dude can back in the golden age, he was blowing planets out of the way with his breath, right? I mean, he could do all kinds of stuff. And Batman, there wasn't nothing that was in his utility belt that wasn't nothing he needed that was outside of his utility belt. Think about Green Lantern, Flash. I mean, fastest man alive. So these people were not relatable. Whereas, think about Spider-Man. Here's a guy lets his uncle die, and he's constantly driven by great power comes great responsibility. He has a hot wife. I mean, what more can you get into it, right?
So, hold on. I've got to say something about that. So Batman's story. Are you really going to tell me right now that Batman lost his parents? He did the same thing, was driven by his parents' death to protect Gotham.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But see, the thing, I think the thing.
Hot wife.
No, there you go.
No hot wife.
I've seen Mary Jane and Todd McFarlane's storyline when he's starting to do that. Trust me, I'm surprised that none of those pages stick together.
J. Scott Campbell. but yeah, to your point, yeah, Batman should have had all the workings of being a popular character. The problem with Batman was that I think the campy Batman of the 60s, Adam West, Burt Ward, Batman show, I think it kind of muddied the waters, and Batman really didn't come back to relevance until like Batman 89. And then he was dark, grim Batman, and people go, man, I can get behind that. I mean, that's the Batman I know, and that's the Batman that I like, is that Batman, right?
See, I liked the detective Batman. See, I mean, I love the dark Batman. I don't know if you collect the Batman Who Laughs or have read that.
Oh yeah,
I'm getting I am on eBay. So if you guys want to sell me something, you just tell me it's either Flash or Batman Who Laughs, and it's slabbed.
Yeah.
Like I love the darkness of like Batman and stuff like that. I love that Batman.
Yeah,
but I also love like the original detective Batman, where it was like a mystery, like with Batman and Robin. It was great though, and that was. I agree. I have to agree that Marvel was more relatable in a lot of ways, but I just think that overall, during those times, I just thought the characters were so much better than, and DC had better characters overall. Like I feel, every Marvel character has the ability to destroy the universe. Almost, it feels like, like every X-Men, there's like 50 Omega, and no offense, not shooting down X-Men, like I love X-Men, but like how many Omega level mutants are there? How many, mutants are there that can just destroy everything? Like with the thought, you have Storm, you have Professor Xavier, you have Phoenix, you have, and it just gets too convoluted. You want to talk about convoluted now? Like X-Men is one of the most convoluted stories out there for me,
Well, no, Hickman, you're right there. It did get very convoluted, and Hickman kind of pushed the reset button. So that's kind of where I got back into comics. There was in Hickman's run with House of X, Powers of 10, because the way he done it made sense, but he was still pulling out from the old. So he's doing like the MCU does a really good job of. They do enough fan service, but they don't do it so much that new people can't get on board, right? Yeah. I think that was Star Wars' problem, was that they didn't do enough fan service on Last Jedi. They wanted to get all these new people on board, and so they hacked off the main people that brought them to the dance. So then in the last one, then they're doing so much fan service that the new people are like, oh, come on, really? Let's get a new story here.
Yeah. Well, Star Wars is another story that we're going to have
to Steven Spock says DC has better villains. I would agree with that. I think the Joker is probably my favorite villain. Love me some Joker covers. The Killing Joke. We talked about Batman Who Laughs. That's obviously a Joker deal. If we ever get back to New Comic Book Day, I am going to be the sucker that buys all the cool Joker covers. But Yeah, you do have a point. Andrew Kai says that he loves futuristic Batman more than regular Batman. So I'm assuming that he's talking about Batman Beyond.
Yep.
So never got into Batman Beyond for whatever reason.
Oh, that's my favorite. But anyway, I have to get out of here, so I'll see you guys
Okay.
later. Thanks for the invite.
All right. Thanks. Thanks for joining.
Take care.
All right. So Jeff says, I feel bad for DC missing the mark almost every single time on their movie attempts. Yeah, they haven't done as good of a job at Marvel, and that's in large part due to the people they got in charge. Here's a question for the experts. Is there a new Marvel Universe book? Oh, a new Marvel Universe. Okay. There is, yes, kind of, sort of. And a new universe book, I'm assuming that you're talking about those that came out in the late 80s when Jim Shooter was still at Marvel, and it was Night Mask and Starbrand and those type of books, Jeff. And if that is what you're referring to, kind of, sort of. And it's funny that if that's what you're referring to, that you just asked that question, because I was just watching an interview with Jim Shooter earlier today, and he was talking about what happened and why that kind of went awry and all that stuff. But in the latest Avengers run that Jason Aaron is writing, Starbrand is in that. So the Starbrand is in that. So they have brought back that old deal. I don't know anything about any of the others, but definitely they have brought that back. So I do appreciate the 12 people that are currently joining us. We got a little over 20 earlier, and I do appreciate everybody doing that. Hopefully you are all subscribed to our channels, including the now departed Mr. Comics 89. And you're hitting that. If you're not, hit those subscribe buttons, and also hit the thumbs up and like buttons. And so let's do another giveaway. So I've got a couple of things in the chat. If you all would make a choice of Batman, Donny Cates, or Indy. Batman, Donny Cates, or Indy. If you would, put it in the chat, and then that's the direction we're going to go. I heard Wolverine had 15 kids since I left in 95. Yeah, they basically made Wolverine the male hoe. And it was kind of a weird deal when he went to hell. He ended up killing essentially all these kids that he didn't know that they were his kids. So he kills them all. Then this bad guy says, hey, guess what? Those are all your kids. And kind of stupid, but he does have this blonde chick who has magic claws that Marvel Comics Presents brought out. Looks like a lot of Batman love going on in the chat. J Hood Creative, first time I've seen you in the chat, so appreciate you joining us. Batman. Okay, well, I will take it as Batman. Go ahead, Flashpoint.
I have to go spend time with my wife before she kills me, because I have to work tomorrow as well.
Hey, happy wife, happy life,
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to say is I appreciate you having me on, and I would love to do this more often. I don't know how many times you go live. I've actually want to start like a DC versus Marvel kind of podcasting, and I would love to have you be my first guest. So after you're done, hit me on IG. I've got some stuff that I'm going to send your way this weekend as well. I appreciate you having me on. Sorry that I had to leave so soon.
Oh, no problem, man. And that comic that I sent you, I can guarantee you don't have it.
Is it Marvel or DC?
No, it's DC. And it's a Flash comic.
And you're guaranteeing me I don't have it?
I guarantee you don't have I guarantee you don't have this cover.
Okay. All right, man. And then, you're going to be pretty excited. I got you. I'm pretty did you like the new Batman run before I actually put together this list thing for you? Did you like are you reading any of the Batman Rebirth stuff, the City of Bane at all?
I've got them.
What was it?
I got them all. Yeah, I've got all the New 52 and all of the Rebirth.
Okay. Well, I'm going to send you a couple books and some awesome stuff. So
appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Well, hey, guys, it's just me and y'all now. But here when the kid says, just pop it in and say congrats. Good night, all. I don't know if this is Hero or if this is the adult kid. Happy wife, happy life. Um, check out Gary's post today. He asked his wife who. Oh, Heroes are pictured. Yeah, I think I saw that. I didn't look at it, but funny. So everybody pretty much saying Batman. I saw one Sir Case, but everybody else was saying Batman. So I do got some other stuff to give away from the Batman. And guys and gal, I'm a Batman fan, and so I'm not giving these away because I just don't want them anymore. I'm giving them away because I've upgraded. Two Brothers Comics, who is going to be doing another live stream tomorrow regarding his Dustin's local comic shop. He's in Georgia, and trying to help them out during this time. And he was doing this last week, and I bought the whole set, so I've got some extras going on. And so let's do some Batman trivia. Okay. So the first person to enter them all correctly in the chat will win a Batman comic book. Okay? So here's the question. Name me 4 of the Robins. 4 of the names of the Robins. I believe there's more than 4, but you can name me 4. Name me 4 Robins. Their real names, real life names. Okay? And the first person that does that in the chat, and I see it right here on the StreamYard, then we will go with that. So hopefully everybody's having a great time. Hopefully everybody's having a safe time with their family and catching up on your reading and your comics. Whether you read digital or the physical versions, it doesn't matter. Hopefully you'll have some time to sit back, drink some coffee, and read some comics. And I do appreciate everybody for joining me here tonight. Did not put this out there a long time. So, okay, so Andrew Kai, I'm going to unfortunately have to disqualify you because you've already won. The next person that I'm seeing on here is Agu Ramos, who says Drake, Grayson, Kelly, and Damian. I ought to disqualify you because you took out the best Robin. Okay, I ought to disqualify you for taking out the best Robin. Everybody knows the best Robin's Jason Todd, right? Andrew has great internet. Yeah, maybe so. So you didn't even list Jason Todd. I mean, come on. The guy's got a great first name. He likes a good color. Anyway, so Andrew, you have already got one coming to you. I think I mentioned this earlier in the video. If I did not, forgive me. I'm going to correct that now. Hit me up on IG. I don't know if it's indicated you were on IG or not, or if I asked. I'll ramble on. I forget what I did. I can remember when I did it when I was a year old, but I can't remember what I did 2 seconds ago. Strangely. Agu, I will give it to you though as the winner. He is the first person I see in. Andrew says yes. Jason is the best. Thank you. He is. I think I heard a video earlier today that essentially Dick Grayson is what Batman could be if he let go of his vengeance. Jason Todd was what Batman would become if he turned over to his vengeance. So Batman's kind of in the middle there. And it took him a while for him to come into his own. For those Batman fans out there, that they kind of retconned Jason's origins. And he was the only comic character that I know of that was ever killed off because the fans called in to a toll-free number to kill him off. And Agu, hit me up on IG. And I started to pick one up, and I laid it back down. I started to pick one up and laid it back down, and I said, I'm going to go back and get it. And when I did, it was gone from the comic shop. So I probably will go back and pick one up because I heard there was a good Jason Todd story in there. So, Agu, which one would you rather have? Would you rather have Batman: The Dark Knight, number 4, little Batman v Superman action, or would you rather have Batman: The Dark Knight Triumphant number 2? Ooh. Or would you rather have Batman Who Laughs Special Edition Free Comic Batman Day number 1? This is the cutout mask. And look, man, you can even cut it out and pretend you're the Batman Who Laughs. You can pretend to be that if you like. Tell me which one you like. About the robocall that decided his fate. Yeah, so I read that. I was only really reading Marvel then. I got into reading Batman right after that because if my memory serves me correctly, that was right before Batman, the Michael Keaton movie, came out in 1989. Because the first Batman comic that I picked up after I left the theaters was Tim Drake's first appearance, and so that was right after that all happened. I think Jay Hood says, I think the whole call thing was a scam. They named it the story of death in the family, so they couldn't rename it if they didn't kill him. And you probably have a good point. And, I met Jim Starlin last year, and he signed my Infinity Gauntlet, not only the comic, but the gauntlet, not the one that you could snap because that'd be kind of dangerous, but the one that lights up that I put on my mantle. And so anyhow, I meant to ask him about that because I got him to sign the death of Robin, and I meant to ask him that question, and I totally forgot. So there was one con that he was supposed to be at, actually 2 cons that he's supposed to be at. One he's not going to be at now because they had to reschedule it, and then another one I think he's still going to be at. So we'll see if I'll get a second chance to ask him. So Agu says triumphant. I don't know if you're saying triumphant or if you're saying which one you want. So let me know, Agu, which one you want. Same here, Jay Hood. Didn't call. Wasn't into DC back then either. Right. So yeah, that's true. I asked him. Oh, okay. So Jay Hood says, let me pull his comment up here. So Jay Hood says, I asked him about it last year, but he kind of dodged the question. I don't think he understood my point. Yeah. And I heard was kind of a whatever. The second. This one, Agu? Just say yes if that's the one you want. I had heard that he was kind of a whatever, like one of these creators that, hey, get out of my face, kid, type deal. But I found him to be very pleasant. He was very forthcoming. He was actually very forthcoming. He was at the con a day before he was actually supposed to be, and I just happened to walk over there and say, "Oh, I didn't think you were supposed to be here tomorrow." He said, "I didn't think so either." So I said, "Hey, you mind if I go ahead and get you to sign my stuff?" He said, "No, come on." And Andrew said, "Yeah, okay, yeah, I think I just seen it pop up." Andrew said, "Thanks, I'll check that after the call." Video. Hey guys and gals, we're still at 13 people, and a Silver Age Dave, what is going on, man? How are you doing? Hopefully all is well with you. Congrats on the 307, man. One day I will be like Silver Age Dave. Funny story, and since you're here to hear it, I'll go ahead and tell it to the masses. And that was, I remember when I first started making YouTube videos, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I did the no faces thing, kind of like Silver Age Dave predominantly does, and Metarog and those guys. And so didn't know how I was going to do, and just kind of feeling my way through. But the first video that I had that Silver Age Dave commented on my stuff, because I watched his videos. The first video that popped up that he did, I was like, "Oh wow, I've arrived! Silver Age Dave has all these subs, and here I am, a little guy, and he's commenting on my video." Anyway, kind of a funny story. At least I thought so. So, and so, Silver, I had commented on your video about your occupation because, as you might be aware, I too am in the same field. And so I was kind of curious as if you were just a general agent or if you specialized on a certain portion of it. We all start the same. Yeah, that's so true. I was watching one thing today, and somebody said, "Hey, look, what we gravitate back to is what in our childhood we wanted, but now we have enough money for." So State Farm, that's funny because I almost went to work for State Farm. Um, so I opened my own PNC agency, and after a few years, my wife and I got empty nest syndrome before we got empty nest because we have 6 kids. Our oldest will be 23 this year, and our youngest one is 6 months. And so after 13 or 12-year hiatus, my wife and I decided to have 2 more kids, and so we did. And so at that time, she was taking care of the office, and she said, "Hey, look, I don't want to cart these kids up here all the time," and so I decided to sell my agency. So I focus strictly on life insurance now. So, but yeah, so almost went to work for State Farm. Anyway, so I do appreciate everybody taking the time to spend some time with me at this 300 subscriber giveaway video. And be sure to check out the 400 subscriber video. Yes, that we're the 400 subscriber video was actually the original one. And then when I hit 300, I decided, hey, what the hey, let's give away some more comics. Okay. So, but be sure to check that video out and find out not only how to win, but then also what you could win. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, I'll give you a hint. That is one of the requirements to win. And you have to be 18 years or older. Wish I had 12. Silver age, people call me and my wife crazy because I'm 40. Well, I'll be 42 this year. And so I've got a 6-month-old. And like I said, our oldest one's 23. My wife and I got married. I was 18 and she was 16. And so my wife, people say that we're crazy. Jay Hood says, congrats, got to roll. Thanks, Jay Hood, for stopping by and visiting us. So, but anyways, they say we're crazy for starting a family all over again. My wife and I have both made the comment that had we not had the 13-year or 12-year hiatus between our 4th child and our 5th child, we would have had more too. We would have had more too. So, the older ones, I want to wring their necks, but the younger ones are still very, very pleasant. So, so I saw some Donnie Cates love in the chat earlier, and so we're going to give an opportunity for a Donnie Cates giveaway. Okay, and so let's come up with some Donnie Cates knowledge. Donnie Cates knowledge. Donnie Cates, first person that types this incorrectly, that has not already won, that types this incorrectly in the chat, will be one of the ones that will be the one that wins. Okay, first person that I see on my yard. Okay, Donnie Cates is currently writing 2 series for Marvel. What's the names of them? The 2 series Donnie Cates is currently writing for Marvel. Put them in the chat, and you can win some Donnie Cates goodness. Jeff, close, but not correct. SJW. You lost me on that one, Steven Spot. And Ago, you're close. Oh, okay. I got you. I think I got you, Steven Spot. Well, he's not the writer of New Warriors, what two series? Oh, okay. What two series is he currently writing? Thor and Venom, Jeff. Okay, so James says, "Hey, look, I know, guys, I know this. I just have already won." So that's fine. So Jeff come back and he says Thor and Venom. So I don't know if Jeff Googled something right quick. And so that is correct. So Jeff, I've got two Donny Cates giveaways. You get to choose from one of them. Okay. The first one is Guardians of the Galaxy #1. So this is his run on Guardians of the Galaxy, which just ended. It is also signed by Sir Cates himself. Okay. If you'd like to have that one, or this is the graphic novel. If you have not read this, unless you're just a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, I would take this one because this is a great, great story. Tell me in the chat which one you would rather have. Tell me which one you would rather have. Yeah. Feel free in the chat to chat away as far as what you might be currently collecting. As some of you that have been watching my channel, Into Autographs Now, is God Country signed? No, it is not, Jeff. And strangely enough, I am in autographs myself. Is God Country signed? It is not. It is just a regular graphic novel. Guardians is signed. It does not have a COA, but it is signed. So let me know. Currently kind of figuring out where do I go from here. Unlike Silver Age Dave, who has like this massive collection, and I would say I know that he's probably got it properly insured. But you know the massive. You'll take the Guardians. Okay, Jeff, hit me up on IG with your address, and it is coming your way. So Silver Age Dave wants to know about the Monopoly board. So let's see here. So for everybody, that is an original version of the Monopoly board that came out in the 1930s. I put it in a shadow box. If you probably cannot see it, but the houses and the motels are made of wood, and the chance and community chest cards are different. The amounts for the properties are different too. I guess it's inflation, but that is an original first edition copy of the Monopoly board. So, excuse me. But so yeah, so unlike Silver Age Dave, who has like this massive collection, you know, he's got like 10 Hulk 181s just kind of laying around of those old things, you know. Unlike that, and of course I'm saying that tongue in cheek, you know, good for you. But the so I collected all of X-Men, Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, and a map guide too. So you love the backdrop. Well, here's the deal with this map. I don't know if I've explained it or if you've seen a video that I've explained it. And those pins up there, Dave, those are places that I've been. So you notice that I have been to Thailand and various parts of the Middle East and Europe, Spain, Italy, down to Mexico, to Alaska, Bahamas, Bermuda, all over. Was going to Israel. Unfortunately, the company changed its trip due to the coronavirus until the 1st of next year. I was going there in September. So that is that. And typically I like to ride a bike anywhere that I go. And so I have another map over here to the side that's under my bike medals and stuff, and it shows all the places that I've biked. And so Jeff says, "What is your email, Southern?" I'm going to type it in. So obviously Steven Spot does not like Donnie Cates. Let me tell you about Donnie Cates. Probably his best work, my humble opinion. This right here. The only reason probably is because of the fact that it's about Alzheimer's, and I've had a loved one die with Alzheimer's, and so it really connected with me. So that's his best work, in my humble opinion. I have met Donnie Cates before, and he is not the most likable person. And, here I am, a middle-aged bald guy. I'm not some hot chick coming up in there. Like, "Hey, Donnie, how's it going? Oh, Donnie." So I didn't really impress Mr. Cates. And so, he was like, "Yeah, here you go, sign it." And he was having his conversation with the chicks that were working his booth. Okay. Whereas I talked to guys like Mike Zach, John Beatty, even Neil Adams, as whatever as he is, he was much better conversationer than what those guys are. Jim Storan, I mean, guys that have been in this industry forever, legends, definitely legends. And they were much more pleasant to be around than Donnie Cates. Again, my humble opinion, he might have had an off day, but the way I took it was he's a young guy. He's worried about the young crowd. Greg Capullo, super nice guy. And so what I tell people with Donnie Cates is that, hey, 20 years from now, if you're still talking about Donnie Cates, we'll talk. But to say that he is the greatest of all time is way overstating it. There are so many riders that have gone before him and have had a history and shown stability in this industry for them to be giving him that title as of yet. I mean, Chris Claremont, for crying out loud. I mean, the guy didn't make up the X-Men, but he basically created the X-Men what they are. So if you're still, they're still talking about Dark Phoenix today. I mean, they've made 2 failed movie attempts, but they're still talking about Dark Phoenix today after all this time. So when 20 years from now, if they're still talking about Donnie Cates' Venom run or Donnie Cates' Thor run, now I'm digging his Thor stuff, and I'm not a Thor guy. I hadn't read it since the Simonson days. But if they're still talking about 20 years from now, then we can talk. Oh, cool. Silver Age Dave says that he owns Steranko's file copies. I've gotten into signed comics. And so the thing with me and Steranko, because I heard some people, they got talked. Hey, exactly. I mean, Alex Ross. I mean, great artwork. The thing with Steranko was people were like, "Oh man, his live's taking so long." I'm like, dude, it's not about the ending; it's about the journey, right? And so with Steranko, he tells a different story to different people. Like somebody walks up and he's like conversationalist. He said the only thing about Steranko, he will not take a picture with you unless you're a hot chick. His words, not mine. I think it's because he's kind of up there in age. He's not as flashy as what he used to be, or vital, not as much vitality. I don't know. But the point being is that he's a really super nice guy. Asked me what I collected, how I collected. And then when I told him, he's like, "Man, this is the con you need to go to. This one over here, because that's into that kind of stuff." So really nice guy. And I enjoyed listening to all the different stories that he told the people that were before me. So, I mean, that was the cool thing about it. And that's why I get signed comics. It's not, I don't turn around and grade them all. I don't turn around and sell them on eBay for prices or anything like that. And I think that some of the creators really appreciate that when people like myself come in there and they got some comics that are not in the best of condition, and it's like 2 or 3 off the wall comics. Like, wow, I remember doing this. Nobody ever gets me to sign this. And I always try to get one that kind of surprises them. That they go, "Man, I forgot I even worked on this thing." because it's just a conversational piece, and that's what I remember, and that's what I like about it. And so it's to each their own. Yeah, it's Steranko. Yeah, that's true. Um, I could see that in a few clips I've seen from Comic Tom. Liefeld smelled. Yeah, in the early '90s, man, he was on top of the world. He might have been in more ways than one. Jeff, uh, he was much younger back then. Liefeld certainly has a lot of energy. He's one of those polarizing characters. He does have a lot of work. People got to give him that. He can't draw feet, but hey, he's made it without drawing feet for a long time, so he's okay. And again, one of my favorite characters is Cable, and he was the first person to draw Cable, technically. So I mean, today, I mean, he's like, I mean, he's like 90-0. So, I can appreciate, even though I might not agree with the guy on everything and might not even appreciate all of his work, I can appreciate his enthusiasm for that said work. Silver Age Dave says, I lived in Chicago in the early '90s, and we all probably smelled like that. Yeah, I went to a insured's house the other day, and he met me at the door. He said, "You probably don't want to come in here. You don't want to smell like that." So, Jeff Schultz says, "I'm a Liefeld supporter." Oh, good. Grew up with his art. Yeah, and people that are in their early 40s certainly did. I mean, that's when he was up and coming, and that's a shame. Those guys, which they made it, especially like Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, those guys. I mean, they're not hurting. Okay, they're not hurting. But what would have been cool is if they would have grabbed somebody like, say, a Jim Shooter and said, "Hey, come be our editor in chief at Image and let us just create, because that's what we're good at. You do your thing, we're going to do our thing, and we're going to make it great." They would have cost themselves a lot less money and experiences. I am a fan of anyone with the guts to go out on their own business. Exactly. Regardless of what the vast majority of the mainstream media tells us today, it's not easy being in business for yourself, and you're always the last person that gets paid. So certainly can do that. Yeah, he's auctioning art off at local LCS. So he's doing his part, right? You don't have to. I mean, he's got enough money. And maybe he did. Hopefully, if he did, he got over it. Everybody's kind of got their skeletons in their closet, so to speak. Well, guys and gals, there's still 12 of you in the chat, and I do appreciate it. Stephen Platt fan, wow, Weapon X, that's one out in left field. Haven't heard that name in a long time. Stephen Platt obviously did Prophet, which was a Liefeld property, and did a cool Moon Knight run. Stephen Platt ran into the same problem Liefeld did back in the day. He never could meet deadlines. And the way I understand it, I'm not a Stephen Platt aficionado or nothing, but the way I understand it, he did. You didn't build that. Yeah. So, so yeah, the way I understand it, I don't think he draws at all anymore. Yeah, Potasio, Wetworks. There you go. Got some Potasio love in the house. That's somebody I want to get signature. I've got, of course, the first appearance of Bishop. I think he did X-Men 201, if I'm not mistaken, which would be the first appearance of Nathan Summers, aka Cable, that I'd want to get signed as well. Yeah, that Moon Knight 55 is fire. I tell you, another person, of course, Bill Sienkiewicz, can't take away from his work, certainly. But David Finch, love the guy's super nice guy, and does some great work. Love his Moon Knight. Definitely dig that. But hey, guys, we're approaching an hour and 30 minutes, and I know there's a lot of other shows and a lot of other things that you could be doing with your time. It is 10:30 Central Time here, and I don't know what time it might be wherever you are. Baby Cable, that's right. That was before all the shoulder pads hit him, Jeff. But I do appreciate you taking the time. Be sure to visit the 400 subscriber video to find out how to do that there. Be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And hey, if you don't mind, give me a shout out to some of your people that you know about that. Should I buy Moon Knight #1, the old one? Yeah. Moon Knight #1, the old one. I'm assuming that you're talking about the Bill Sienkiewicz cover where he's got his 3 different personalities down there on there. That is a great comic to have. It's kind of clicking up there because of the Disney Plus show, but if you like Moon Knight, it's definitely a good one to have. James Gallegos, thanks again. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. But everybody have a good night. Until next time, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios.